Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Punch Club. Let's continue. So, we were in the middle of sleeping, I got interrupted for a very dumb reason. Oh, and now I can't even wake up. Right at the end of the last episode. Irritating to say the least. And we're running low on food. So, it does make a lot of sense to go get some more money. There's a fight today. Yeah, doing this one job, since it is the only job that really you would want to do. The only other thing we've unlocked is delivering pizzas. Let's see. I think I have a new high kick, karate kick. This does 4 damage, but this would do 5 damage. It's an accuracy of 149. This is 127. And this uses an energy of 4, but this uses an energy of 2. So start strong with the backhand punch. Then after the first round, switch over to the karate kick. That's what I think I figured out here. Although the best scenario would be that you would, in between each round, regain enough stamina that you could just use the backhand punch. Yeah, and I still have enough stamina really to continue to use the backhand punch. With this, it does look like we're going to win this fight, but we are in a situation where it's now close to 3 or 4 fights need to be won just to get enough upgrade points. And this is still just a rookie league, and it seems like there's going to be like 3 different leagues, and that you may just be able to do 3 different fights at some point. I don't see how this game is going to expand like that. It doesn't feel like you're going to have that much time during the day to take on 3 different fights at the same time. And it definitely feels like even if you could do that without some new gameplay mechanic, you're going to run into a problem at the end of the game where you don't have anything else that you can do. You're just going to have to struggle. Yeah, you'll just have to struggle to do 3 fights per 3 days. Again, I really wish there was a way to upgrade this sofa, even if it was just a fancier sofa, something that would refill your energy faster, using less food and using less time. Of course, that's not super realistic. It does make an interesting point that while the Dark Fight update, adding a Ninja Turtles Batman content, is storyline wise way more interesting, gameplay mechanic wise it's not the best thing you could have added. Here is to just keep the agility going up and up and up, but I also kind of question how I'm going to accomplish that just by using the punching bag. I don't even think it's going to be a case where if you just did this one exercise, you would maintain what you're losing always. I think if I got my stamina up to 10, I need something else to maintain it at 10, because I think you're just so going to lose so much. Yeah, it doesn't feel like you're getting more efficient with any of these exercises. And in the long run, we're going to end up just seeing these exercise animations over and over again. Yeah, I guess the whole game comes off like the team that would have made this, assuming it was a team and not just one person, had a high level of ability to make these little 2D fight animations and exercise animations, these little looped animations like these, and so there's just more of that in the game than you normally would expect to see, instead of, say, mini games or a gameplay mechanic where you directly control these characters. I would have to assume at some point in its development this game wasn't a management game and you were going to directly control your character, and that this was going to be something along the lines of a evolution of a Punch-Out game, although there have been evolutions of Punch-Out games even, and they didn't go in that direction either. They still are very focused on only the boxing part, not the workout part. It's kind of a shame how MMA in the real world has also made other martial arts fighting tournaments very unpopular in comparison. Boxing and other forms, karate, judo tournaments, all of those fairly unpopular compared to MMA amongst the general public. There is clearly some people who are fans of those things, but it's not particularly mainstream. Weirdly, there hasn't really been a lot of MMA games, video games wise. And I imagine part of that is also because the level of violence you can do in a video game can be so exaggerated compared to reality. Being limited to reality is not very helpful. That is true for this one, I think, too. It is very mindless, the violence in a lot of games when you're beating up characters, and often very accelerated and simplified, where you might just punch one character and then they're knocked out immediately in mini games. That's kind of what people want, I think, more than anything else. Unless your game is specifically built around fighting, a one-hit kill is generally what I want any character in an RPG game, where I can build up the character's stats to be. Okay, none of that worked well. This guy's stamina is just way bigger than mine. I'll try the karate kick. I assume that is a karate kick, and just see if that does anything, but I doubt it will. We need more than 11 apparently. We need 12 now. Counterattack. If active, any dodged attack will reflect 25% of the damage at himself. Yeah, I guess this backlash ability is the one to do. Just sign up again. Now noticeably, while I'm focusing in on this, I'm not focusing on the street fights, nor am I focusing in on Roy. And I should have bought food. Although, not be that big of a deal. Yeah, it really does feel difficult to just even maintain your stats. I'm really struggling here to keep this at 5 and these at 2. And there is definitely a question as far as just how many times spraying that plant. Should I spray the plant? Will that unlock an achievement, or is that simply there as something you can do? It definitely seems like there are peaks and valleys in this game in which you get lucky at some point and it starts to go well for you, and then there's valleys where you kind of just can't make any more progress. Difficulty spikes, difficulty valleys. I keep wanting to double check to see if you can actually click on some of these other things. Like, it definitely feels like this should be something here. But then I always forget about it by the time this happens. You'd think there would be a skip button on this. That's interesting. Let's see, what is this? You just kick the box. There. And yeah, you can't do anything else. Yeah, so I have no idea why you can just kick the box. This does give me an interesting situation where if I hadn't been thrown to move to a fight right now, I would have been more interested in going to the pizza place and just buying a bunch of pizza and seeing if that unlocks something. But yeah, at the end of today you can see we gained 32 strength and we lost 18. We gained 37 of this and we lost 18. But we gained 235 of this and we lost 54. So it does seem like just the more of this you have, the more you lose. And if it is 18 per the number, and I was at 4, no, that wouldn't be quite right, but it does seem like you lose more the higher your numbers are. Okay. And I guess I should be thankful that you have to move these moves around, but eventually you won't even need to do that if you unlock more slots. Of course, I don't know what is really controlling whether or not he decides to dodge versus whether he decides to do a backhand. It doesn't seem like there's really a cooldown on his fight actions. Normally what you would see is that there would be a noticeable several seconds cooldown before you can use an action again. Well, I'm gonna win here. That does bring us up to get backlash. Then we sign up again. Of course, I could stop signing up, and if I did, that would change the situation quite a bit. I was covered in, had a lot of money on me, so no surprise. Now, if we really failed at this, then we'd be in trouble, and we might very well fail at this. He's got a lot of stamina. This is round 1 of 99 rounds. And you don't have an escape or flee button. So no retreat option, which is kind of interesting. You would expect that. Even from like a management game. And I'm not sure I was really aware of what level this character was at. So, yeah. Save my stamina here with karate kicks. The problem is I need the guy to just constantly be low in stamina to make up the difference in health. And so I'm hoping karate kicks can save the day here. And it seems like it may very well work. I feel like I've gotten either lucky here or the game has intentionally made it so I would win. So you can only have 7 of an item. Which means now I've filled up my refrigerator with everything except for energy drinks. And so it would be interesting to see if that turns into some kind of achievement being unlocked if you have just a full fridge. Here. And here. This is the only place I think I've seen where you might find a flower or grow a flower if we're actually supposed to win Adrian's affections, which we haven't actually talked to Adrian like even a second time. And yeah, I'll have to go back and do more work at some point to get more money to fill up the refrigerator more. It would be kind of nice if that could become automated and then you just had a weekly grocery order and a weekly scheduled working job. There is a danger if it was all just automated that you would not see all the opportunities available to you. And it's probably not as weird of a comparison as it may sound, but from my vague memories of when I played Princess Maker back in the 90s, the game in Princess Maker gave you very few things you could do in the early game, and it was only later that you unlocked more options, where it feels like we are at least close to the end of the first act of this game, and it feels like we should be even further than that for as much time as we put into it. And the options just are not really opening up. There's more things you can do to fight, but fighting seems like it's only going to get you stats, actions, and the hexagon skill points here. Doesn't seem like fighting's ever going to get you gold. Buy food. Unless something really weird happens, there could be a case where eventually I just get to the top of the league and of the rookie league, and by winning first place in the top of the rookie league, maybe you then get money handed to you, and then you stop having to work a job. That is a possibility, I guess. We're being more precise now as far as just getting all of the stats up. So the question is, do I want to work a job? Or do I want to go to Roy's house? I think it logically still just makes sense to work a job. We'll just do this for the rest of this day into the fight. I probably will have enough health, I probably will have enough energy. Our stats seem kinda good. Really would like to start thinking about unlocking a third slot, though. Let's go one more round with the backhand, but after that I think the karate kick has to come in. But I'm starting to run out of stamina. Also, I'm not really doing a lot of damage. But notice he is starting to run out of stamina, so every time he's getting knocked down, it is. Yeah. He's taking major damage with every knockdown, but I think I'm gonna lose here. Unless I could just get lucky. And see, that was really close, so that feels like I deserve more of a reward than I'm probably going to get for that one. And it doesn't feel like we're going to unlock anything new by losing anymore. I think that is just going to be the end of it. Stamina is still showing a big issue, so I guess the move Still not a full refrigerator. I guess the move is probably to go ahead and buy the treadmill also. At which point it also makes sense that if we're going to get, if we think maybe we're going to get an achievement for having a full refrigerator or unlock something, we should do that. And then it's almost doesn't matter if that works or not. The next step would be, if we're going to buy the treadmill, would be to think about purchasing the weights set, also the bench press. But yeah, you can't really slack off. It's like every time you come to the house, you should work out. Sure would be nice if there was a fast forward here. The whole interaction though is it's moving slow, so you can click somewhere and stop it if you wanted to, and so you can maintain time if you're paying attention to that. If I do get the treadmill though, I really can only do this in the treadmill and stop focusing on that. And unfortunately, I'm never going to be able to unlock the thing that guarantees you never fall below 8 on agility, which would be fairly helpful. It definitely feels like there's two paths on the skill tree. One path where you're just going to have to exercise and maintain your agility yourself, and one path where you can use stats, passive stats, to make it impossible for you to fall down below a certain level. Is it worth it to sleep and get your energy up? Everything either resets per day or resets per visit. I would assume it's per visit, but it would probably be easier to program it if it was per day. Yeah, I think we're gonna win this one. So you lose one, you win one. Then you get knocked down to somebody way easier, and then you win. And in reality, any kind of organized fighting league, you kind of have to have characters that have careers like that. It can't all just be complete victories always in every fight, because that'd get very boring very fast. Of course, there's also a whole lot of promotion for the big fights. It's not like the really big fighters in boxing and such. So let's see. If any dodged attack will do 40% of the attacker's potential damage to himself. If we went with unstoppable, but clearly we have to go with cutthroat. Just keeping it down to this point. This here, if you go Slave of the Wind, has to be taken to go this way, so your agility can't fall below 13. Interesting. So it is a trade-off, to say the least. So yeah, there's a very different build that you would take here. And it's not a case that I'm misunderstanding this, where you can unlock all of these skills as soon as you had 14. No, you are paying 14 to unlock it. Okay. So, if we know we're actually fairly close to the Slave to the Wind, wow, I didn't realize we'd been going this long, then it may not really be worth it to buy the stamina machine, except for the fact that we aren't getting anywhere close to level 8 with the stamina anyways. So, it still probably is worth doing that. This definitely feels like the kind of game where you're going to get into the groove of it, and potentially you're going to play it in sessions of 2 or 3 hours instead of what I'm doing here, which is playing it in 30-minute episodes. Now, if you were to make this more like a mobile game, they probably would need to tweak it so that you would play it in smaller, shorter sessions. And I'm not sure how you really would accomplish that, particularly when you're starting to get into this. Probably by wait timers. Yeah, I could easily see how this could be a mobile game with microtransactions, where every action actually happens in real time. So you tell him to work out, he works out for 4 hours in real time. If you want to speed it up and fast forward time, you have to pay with some premium currency. That would make a lot of sense to see a game made that way. Not that I'm encouraging that kind of design by any means. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and keep on watching. Thanks.